Season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when to the kick, go for two, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Mike Trout, will he ask for a trade? And maybe I'm a bit of a Neanderthal for asking this, and people are going to say, listen, he's never leaving. I refuse to accept that, and we're just not going to get Mike Trout postseason baseball ever again. Because clearly when healthy, he can still do it. But he's also rarely healthy and still kind of expensive. It's complicated.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Course setup, Bethpage, and how soft the greens were, how long it played. It definitely was an advantage for Europe from my mind, and they putted better.
Well, but do you think, in a weird way, that same setup is what allows the Americans to get back in it today? Because you do see a lot of those big putts made.
Yeah.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone A. Johnson over there, as always. He's got three massive picks coming up a little bit later on in the show. But you know full well you're coming today. For those of you that didn't work yesterday, a day of repentance, atoning for your sins, if you believe in the Jewish faith, and then you sat down on the couch, bagels and lox in one hand, white fish and kippered salmon in the other hand.
Holla.
And a little holla, why not? Sure, put a little butter on that, add some cinnamon, call it a dessert, and you sat down and you said, sports gods, can you do me a favor? I just repented for my sins. I'm trying to get even with God. I'm going to ask for a solid day one post-repenting. Can you give the Yankees a win? Can you somehow find it in your heart and soul to allow the New York Yankees to do something that no other team in the history of the sport has done since they invented the wild card, and that is lose game one of a best-of-3 series and come back and still take the series and advance to the DS? And God above said, you got a kid. And that's what happened yesterday. And we start off another Jewish year with a great W by the New York Yankees. And of all the places, for unproven rookie who has had a good number of starts this year, so maybe he's not your typical rookie. I know they made comparisons to Josh Beckett last night during the broadcast, literally mowing him down. 50% of his outs last night were on strikeouts. 8 innings pitched, no runs allowed, 12 strikeouts. And for all you whiny bitches in Boston talking and screaming after game one how we own the Yankees 9 out of the last 10 and we're your daddy and the Yankee mystique is done and dead and gone. All I got to say is, how you like me now? And another interesting thing happened yesterday as the New York Yankees had just that one inning where they scored all their runs. They beat the Red Sox 4-0. There's two groups of people right now. And I checked, Tyrone. I surfed the web. I talked to people left and right. I'm constantly online. There are two groups of people who were very, very silent last night when the Yankees got that final out and advanced on to the ALDS against Toronto. Red Sox fans ain't got nothing to say. All of a sudden, all that snide talk, all that tough guy talk, you ain't got nothing to say today. And the other group of people, one that are much closer to my heart and my soul, are New York Mets fans. Because I live in New York. I live in the area.
Yeah.
I listen to Sports Talk Radio. I did Sports Talk Radio. I'm online. And it seems like Met fans, along with Red Sox fans, forgot how to tweet all of a sudden. Because when the Yankees lost game 1 3-1, all of a sudden, all I saw in my timeline, and my algo, as the kids call it, on social media, was the Yankees suck. The Yankees aren't going to beat the Red Sox. The Yankees essentially are no better than the New York Mets. Why make the playoffs if you're just going to get swept? And I'm sitting back going, did you guys forget how to type? Like, where did all that cockiness go? Where did all that happiness go amongst Met fan base and the Red Sox fan base after game 1? And I came in here after game 1, and I told you what I thought was a very valuable sports lesson, and I hope that you learned from it. In a best-of-3 series, you don't win the series after game 1. It's mathematically impossible. So while the Yankees sat back and didn't say boo and got themselves together and put a better lineup on the field for game 2 and took game 2, then the birds out there, the little squawkers out there were like, well, no team's ever come back and won after losing game 1, so you're screwed. And then when you watch the other games yesterday, that held court. Detroit takes care of business after winning game 1. Cleveland didn't come back and win the series. The Tigers advance on. When you go to the Cubs and Padres, same exact scenario. Cubs won game 1. Cubs won the series. So leading into Yankees-Red Sox last night, it was all set up for the Red Sox to steal game 3 with their own rookie on the mound. But then something funny happened along the way. The Red Sox this year played like the Yankees last year. Bad base running, bad defense.
Very bad.
Bad bullpen.
Yeah.
And when you add it all together, the Red Sox, you're out. And it's the Yankees that advance. Now, because of the kid's name, Cam Schlittler, who is the rookie pitcher that mowed down the Red Sox with 12 strikeouts, everyone's having fun with his last name.
Yeah.
Because Schlittler, it rhymes with a lot of things.
It's the craziest last name in the history of names.
Yeah. So I just want to... I want to peruse some of the headlines today if we can. After the Yankee big win. We're going to be all over San Francisco 49ers win last night, coming up in just a second. But I thought, well, before I do the headlines, let me just say this. Had the Yankees lost the game, the GOAT would have been Giancarlo Stanton.
Absolutely.
Early in the game, hits a ball off the wall and stopped to admire it. And he thought it was gone.
Yeah.
And then when he realized, the ball hit the wall, all of a sudden you could see the look on his face change. Yeah. And he's the slowest dude in America. He makes it to second base. Yeah. If he had been thrown out at second base, he would have been the GOAT of the Yankees' demise, and Yankee fans would have clamored for his exit, along with Brian Cashman, along with Aaron Boone. We'll get to them in a second. But for those of you that didn't see it, here's video of Giancarlo Stanton running to second base. He is not fast.
No.
You can see right there. That's him in a dead-on sprint, by the way, trying to go from first base to second base in under an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But he did make it to second base. But for everyone out there, and I want to make this point, and you can clip it and put it out there. It is time in New York for Yankee fans to say A, thank you, and B, I'm sorry to both Aaron Boone and to Brian Cashman.
What?
I know the knock on Aaron Boone. Only manager not to win a World Series in the last 50 years. I get it. He went to the World Series last year. Best record in the American League tie with Toronto this year. And they're in the playoffs every year but one in his tenure as manager. It's Brian Cashman as well, general manager, who put the team together that's always in the playoffs. And I think there comes a point where Yankee fans have taken that for granted. You shouldn't. Imagine being a Met fan today. You didn't make the playoffs. The Yankees do make the playoffs virtually every single year, and it's not good enough because we got sold a bill of goods that it's always World Series or bust. Even when George Steinbrenner was alive, it was not World Series every single year. You look at the decade of the 80s, while they were the winningest team based on total wins for the decade, how many World Series rings do you have?
0.
Okay? How many do you have? So the reality is that it's not World Series or bust, it's playoffs or bust. And it's Brian Cashman that found Cam Schlittler.
He did.
Does he get credit for that? It's Brian Cashman that got Rosario to play last night. Does he get credit for that?
He should.
He should get credit for that. It's Brian Cashman that got Cruz, who's a valuable part of that bullpen, and Bednard, who became the Yankees closer because Williams stinks, right?
Yeah.
And he's got bad decisions as well. And then flip the script. It's Aaron Boone who showed faith and stuck with Anthony Volpe when every Yankee fan alive wanted him sent down. If Anthony Volpe doesn't make several of those plays defensively in the field in this series, the Yankees lose to the Red Sox.
They would have.
Anthony Volpe had a home run. Aaron Judge didn't. Anthony Volpe had an RBI single last night. So the best player on the team gets a pass because he's the best player on the team. And in the regular season, Aaron Judge does stuff we've never seen before. But how about we acknowledge and show some respect to what the manager does day in and day out, and the team that the general manager has built year in and year out. Yankee fans owe both of those men major apologies and major thank yous. Without them, the New York Yankees are not in the second round, getting ready to face their new nemesis, the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox fans, sorry, not sorry. You came up small against a rookie pitcher. Let that one eat at you the entire offseason, because it should. We're on to the next. Saturday and Sunday, live from Toronto, we've got ourselves ALDS baseball. On the flip side, I will show you this later on. San Diego Padres got screwed by the umpires in their Game 3 loss to the Chicago Cubs. Not faulting the Cubbies on that. We'll show you the reaction from San Diego. And right after this, huge game last night, Thursday Night Football. San Francisco Mac Jones out-dueling the Rams and Matt Stafford to go to 4-1. And some questionable decisions in that game. We'll go over it right after this.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when the kick, go for two, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Mike Trout, will he ask for a trade? And maybe I'm a bit of a Neanderthal for asking this, and people are going to say, listen, he's never leaving. I refuse to accept that we're just not going to get Mike Trout postseason baseball ever again. Because clearly when healthy, he can still do it. But he's also rarely healthy and still kind of expensive. It's complicated.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Course setup, Bethpage, and how soft the greens were, how long it played. It definitely was an advantage for Europe, from my mind, and they putted better.
Well, but do you think, in a weird way, that same setup is what allows the Americans to get back in it today? Because you do see a lot of those big putts made.
Yeah.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. While a lot of us were watching Yankee baseball, if you're fortunate, like my man Tyrone is here, to have multiple televisions in his house, I don't. I've just got the one, so I just have to constantly go to my phone or switch during commercials. He's sitting there in the lap of luxury going, 200-inch TV screens. Which one do I want to focus on? Last night, Niners-Rams last night. A crazy game offensively when you look at the total yards. Damn near 1,000 yards of offense in that game last night. San Fran wins the game after kicking a 59-yard field goal. Eddie Pinero, who became their kicker after week 1. And then, of course, you go into overtime, and they wind up beating the Rams 26-23. Couple things from this game. First, from the San Francisco perspective. That's a huge win for them. They've now swept the division games they've played thus far, one time through each of them. So they are heads and shoulders ahead of everybody else in the NFC West. That's number one. Number two, McCaffrey did not play great statistically. Only had about 60 yards on the ground. But now you've got a little something interesting brewing out there. And that is the performance of Mac Jones yesterday. And I'm just looking up real quick. Mac Jones yesterday, 33 of 49, 342 yards, 2 tutties, and not a single pick.
Yes, that's huge.
The fact that San Francisco trusted Mac freaking Jones to throw the ball essentially 50 times in an NFL game and didn't resort to the same old that most coaches resort to with a backup quarterback, which is what? Run the football, run the football, run the football. Tells you a lot about what they do out there in San Francisco, what Coach Shanahan does, and his ability to get the most out of what a lot of other people think are journeyman or average quarterbacks.
And one more note, for the season, 5 games now, not a small sample size, McCaffrey's averaging 3.1 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And they're still doing this.
And
he's healthy.
Offensive line problems there probably a little bit, because he does have some moments where he's still badass. And catching the ball, he's still a rock star.
But I'm saying, look at what they're doing without him. He's doing great in the pass game, but they're not getting a lot of production from the run game, and they're still 4-1.
So they're also 3-0 with Mac Jones starting at quarterback. And this was his best performance of the three. He was kind of a game manager the first 2. But I don't want to overstate how good that offense was with Mac Jones running it against a very good Ram team and a team that's got legitimate, I think, Super Bowl aspirations. I want to kind of calm everybody down about it. I give him all the credit in the world. That's why I started with Mac Jones, because I didn't think Mac Jones was a good quarterback. I think last night's game plays into, again, the notion that Shanahan is the best when it comes to getting the most out of quarterbacks. As the story goes, he wanted to draft Mac Jones originally, but then the Niners fell in love with Trey Lance. So they drafted Trey Lance third and, basically sold the farm to get Trey Lance. But now he's got Mac Jones, who he originally wanted. And you're starting to see the fruits of better coaching for Mac Jones, who had lousy coaching, to be fair, when he was in New England.
Belichick.
That being said, and I got to make this point, don't get it twisted and now suddenly think that San Francisco has a quarterback battle on its hands.
You sure?
Brock Purdy's the better quarterback. Brock Purdy is the franchise quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. But while he's out, if they're going to let Mac Jones throw the rock 49 times, San Francisco is telling you, without using these words, that we have just as much faith in Mac Jones as we do in Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's got this bad turf toe thing. He's probably going to be out another week because this thing lingers on and on. He played like crap last week, but I was shocked when they gave Mac the opportunity to throw the ball 49 times, and good for him. The flip side of that is, what the heck are the Rams thinking, right? You have a chance, 4th and 1 in overtime,
3:41
to kick
left.
the field goal and tie the game.
3:41 left in overtime.
Now, neither defense was great. I know Sal's defense made the last play to get off the field and win the game. But you have a first ballot Hall of Famer at quarterback who by himself threw for 350 yards last night as well and was great dumping the ball off to Williams out of the backfield as part of that offense, right? And you have Puka Nacua on your roster, and you have Devontae Adams on your roster. So 4th and 1, to me, you've got 2 choices. Kick the field goal, tie the game, we move on, 3:40 to go. I understand. The Rams' field goal kicker last night was terrible. Missed the extra point, so instead of going up 21-20, game was tied 20-all, which then forced us into a 23-all overtime game, right?
Yep.
So I know you lost confidence in your kicking game. But if you're not going to kick there and try to extend overtime and worst case, go home with a tie like Dallas did the other day against Green Bay, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then don't you have to make the decision to put the football in your best player's hand, which is Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams?
Absolutely. It was a horrible call.
Right.
From a genius. Everybody talks about how smart he is. He's a genius. He's this and he's that. Shanahan was. That fraud, again, wasn't.
Shanahan outcoached McVay. It's a great point, Tyrone, 100%. Now, if you want to give me a little play-action pass, fake the run on 4th and 1, great, do it. But I'll tell you a little side story to this, because I thought he got outcoached. I thought in the moment, I said it live last night, that it was a bad decision. You took the ball out of Stafford's hands. You didn't give Adams or Nacua a chance to make a play to win the game.
Yep.
But for all the nonsense everybody else talks in the league about a little play that you people in Philadelphia call the tush push. If the Rams had the ability to execute the tush push, wouldn't it have been nice from a Ram fan perspective if you lined up in that formation and you ran the tush push, which is a guaranteed lock to get you the first down and give you 3 more cracks, maybe 4, at scoring the touchdown in overtime to win the game? So for those of you that hate the tush push, if you're a Rams fan, and there were none of them in the building last night, that was a Rams home game, and there were 80,000 Niner fans there, you didn't see but 1 or 2 Rams fans. I guarantee you, whatever Rams fans are out there, we're not even debating, but we're begging for the Rams to have some version of the play that everybody else hates.
Yep.
Right?
100%.
So bad job by the Rams, bad coaching by the Rams, and let's tip our cap. That's a great job by Shanahan. Saleh's defense gets the stop they need on 4th and 1. And Mac Jones, he will be the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. And I cannot believe I'm saying that. The Niners are 4 and 1, and 3 of their wins are with Mac freaking Jones. What? More coming up.
Now let's get to a player who was taken in the first round of every fantasy football draft, and thus far, it's produced the least points, George. I mean, I thought you'd just take a rookie running back in the first round and you get yourself 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. But Boise State's Ashton Genty for the Las Vegas Raiders, we got out of excuses, right? Like at this point, it's, they got to give him the ball more. They got to do this. They got to do that. I mean, George, does this guy look like Barry Sanders? Like, that was the comparisons? Like, I haven't seen any of that yet.
Our panicometer, all right, doesn't go high enough here. All right, because this is, I mean, come on, we're freaking out here. I don't think it's all Genty, by the way. He has more yards after contact than before contact. That pretty much lets you know what the problem is there. All right, the Raiders needed a running back, sure, but they need an offensive line. All right, they need a couple of offensive linemen. It's not something you can fix in one off season here. So yeah, we're gonna eat it with Genty. He's not gonna be worth the first round pick in fantasy. Just not this year. In future years we'll see here, but not this year. The offensive line is not very good. The defense is not very good, so they have to throw the ball more in the second because they're trailing every game. So that's hurting us as well here. So yeah, like I said, the panicometer, it doesn't go high enough for this. Okay, I am more than concerned. I am not calm. I am critical. I am flipping out.
Isn't there going to be a time where he just breaks it free? George, like, what you said is not false, but I think there's a point being missed here. Why has he not broken free one time the whole season? Not once. To just run away. Like, he's Devin Singletary right now. No offense to Devin Singletary, but that's who he is.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
Hey, good news. I'm actually very excited about this. Not even sports related, but McDonald's is bringing back
Monopoly. Oh, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy. I'm going to get some fries. I'm going to get hash browns, the whole thing.
The whole thing.
All over there.
You got to go in for I only go to McDonald's these days for the Shamrock Shake.
Oh, there you go.
But Monopoly is back. I'm your Huckleberry on that. I'll take a Big Mac, a quarter pounder with cheese, 2 large fries, and give you some Monopoly tickets, please.
All the ones you can give.
I love it. You
need to get a board for in the studio.
All right, so the Yankees beat the Red Sox last night. 2 things. First off, there's I guess mildly attractive gal who's a big Red Sox fan. Her name is Lucy Burge, and she's all over social media. Yeah. Rocking like low-cut tops with the Red Sox, jerseys and whatnot on. In any event, she was talking a lot of smack. After the Red Sox win Game 1, Yankees take Game 2. Lucy went out there and she tweeted, "Sox in 3." All right? So somebody responded to her. There's her tweet right there. Sox in 3. Well, at 1:45 in the morning last night, some guy named Cam wrote, "Not this year." But let's take a closer look. Oh, wait a minute. That's the kid that started the game. That's
awesome.
Cam Schlittler
That's
right
awesome.
there.
That's awesome.
That is the best trolling of a fan rooting for the other team that I've seen in recent memory. Because it's clean.
Yep.
It's in the moment. It's on point. And it's awesome.
And he earned it.
And he absolutely earned it with 12 strikeouts and 8 full innings pitched. Oh, by the way, is anybody yelling at Aaron Boone for bringing him back for the 8th inning last night? Are all the Yankee fans out there that hate Aaron Boone suggesting that he should have gone to somebody else in the 8th? Or are they going to give him credit for reading the room, understanding the kid had more strikes left in him and had, a 6-pitch 8th inning, 7-pitch 8th inning? Does Aaron Boone get credit for that from anybody? He does for me. Maybe because we're friends in Texas this morning, but he certainly gets it from me, I can tell you that.
The bias.
Speaking of the game, I wanted to peruse, because it's a quick segment here, some of the headlines.
Yeah.
If I can go through those with you guys real quick. You guys can vote, just tell me, or Ty, just tell me which one you like the most.
I love them.
New York Post has a headline, Schlitt happens. All right, that's clever. It's not bad, right? That's not Schlitt happens. I apologize. That's holy Schlitt. There you go.
Not bad.
I like that one.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Because that had to be done like right in the moment. That's clever. Holy Schlitt. There's an alternative New York Post headline that I do have in front of me, so that's why I'm reading it. Schlitt happens. I think Holy Schlitt's better.
Yes.
But there you have it.
Holy remains in the lead.
That's the alternative one.
That's not a bad one.
Let's go to Boston.
Okay.
The Boston Globe has an interesting headline. Red Sox played like Schlitt.
I like that
with
one.
a little pooper emojis right there.
And the way their 4th inning, that defense, it fits.
Yeah. This one I didn't see. I guess there's a B alternative. New York Post headline. Maybe you can help me out with this, Tyrone. It's just put it up there. I don't even.
Hold on. I gotta see it now. Don't get me in trouble.
I'm not even sure where this one comes from.
The other
Schlitz malt liquor.
Oh yeah, I know all about that one. Now that's what Schlitz malt liquor.
Yeah,
Bull. That's my favorite so far. The Schlitz malt liquor. I hope he had some. I mean, they should have They should have got some to Yankee Stadium for him.
Okay, you're gonna put the old English down.
Put the old English down. You gotta pick up the Schlitz.
The Daily News got in on the game here in New York this morning. They put out one. They love the poop emoji also. Red Sox fans don't know Schlitt.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I like that one. I like that one. I love the sad faces on the poop emoji. That's a good one there. The New York Post has another alternative headline.
Oh, wow.
For those of you that get it by mail, it's not the best one, I don't think, but called Schlitt Show.
I mean, it's good. That's quality.
Again, 3 little Red Sox poop.
Instead of the champagne, I wish he had a little more liquor. But yeah, it's good.
And then they're telling me there's another New York Post alternative headline, one that invokes how I watched the game last night. And, I'll just show it to you. I got to take a Schlitt.
You run in there. That's awesome.
How did you guys know?
How'd they know that?
Wait, they're telling me there's another one. The New York Daily News
there can't be another one
has a B headline for some parts of the country. And I think this is the last one, and we'll end this a little bit. Down the Schlitter.
That's fantastic.
There you go.
Congratulations to that young man.
The Yankees advanced. They had lost 9 out of 10 to the Red Sox in the postseason. They win back-to-back, and they get the Toronto Blue Jays, who they have a legitimate rivalry with now.
Oh, yeah, it's
and
real
there's
now.
no love lost there. Like Vlad Guerrero Jr., who signed a big extension to stay in Toronto, a lot of people thought he'd be the obvious choice after this year, become a free agent, and go to the Yankees. Yankees could use, a younger first baseman with stick, right? And with that short portion, right?
Yeah.
And he came out and said, I'll never play for the Yankee organization.
Wow.
Which is kind of strange. Like, I understood when Ken Griffey Jr. said he would never play for them because he felt that George Steinbrenner disrespected his father.
Yeah, that's so it's personal.
I respect that. But, Vlad, you're going to get a little taste of the Yankee juice coming up this weekend. More coming up. Lots of football for the rest of the show right after this. Well, Shadur, which quarterbacks are you talking about? Because there is some bad quarterback play out there. But the dude who can't beat Dylan Gabriel out for a job and can't beat Joe Flacco out for a job certainly can't lay claim to being better than any other quarterback in the league.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
That's a lot for a closer. 10. That's you're not a closer anymore if you blow 10 games. I mean, my goodness. That's
he's mentally broken too. Like, it's to the point where, like, Dodger fans aren't even mad at him; they're more mad at the Dodgers for putting him out there.
Putting him in,
right? It's more so.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, guys, like, he's done.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball has decided it is time to put balls and strikes not just in the hands of the umpires, but also the robot umpires, as they say. The ABS system is now officially in place starting next season. Now, keep in mind, they're not just throwing this out there. They have used this at the Arizona Fall League, and they've also used it at different levels of the minor leagues as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Everything changed at that point. They went and got Jonquil Jones, and they really had that triple threat monster team. That second year they lost in the WNBA Finals, 3-1 against the Las Vegas Aces. Year 3, they finally get over the top hump. And you can question whether they should have won the title with that foul call late in Game 5 that sent Breanna Stewart to the foul line.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tons of good football. I just want to give one last thought on last night's game. Niners in overtime beat the Rams, go to 4-1. Rams drop to 3-2. Mac Jones was stupid good. He's 3-0 now as a starter for San Fran as Brock Purdy nurses his turf toe thing, right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this, this morning when I heard the Mac Jones comments, because I didn't hear them last night because I went to bed right after overtime, so I didn't get to see his postgame stuff till this morning. But I want you to listen to Mac Jones, who's the current starter for San Francisco, but he's number 2 on the depth chart behind Brock Purdy if they were both healthy. And I'll just say one thing. Disregard the ugly, stupid suit that Mac Jones chose to wear to this press conference. Just disregard it because it's stupid. But listen to what Mac Jones said after the game. Go ahead, guys.
They brought me here to play as a backup, and that's my job. And Brock's the starter of this team, and right now he's dealing with something, and for him to go out there last week and play when he probably wasn't at full health, like, he cares about this team. So I'm just trying to get some wins for him so it helps us down the line, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
All right, Brock Purdy, I'm just trying to help the team out. I'm sorry, Mac Jones saying I'm just trying to help the team out. Brock Purdy's the starter. I'm just trying to get him some wins so that when he comes back, we're in a great position. That is called textbook answering a question when you're the backup quarterback who's being given an opportunity to now start because of an injury. That's textbook. It's perfect. It's why I'm sure the guys in that locker room love Mac Jones. Mac Jones wasn't like, look at me, it's all about me. I told you I could play. Anyone that doubted me was stupid. I'm finally with a great coach. It's my team now. I'm going to lead. No, none of that. None of that braggadocio, none of that arrogance, none of that cockiness. Here's a kid that's 3-0, who just threw for 340 yards in an overtime win against a division rival to go 4-1 on the season.
Yeah.
Juxtapose that against the Shedeur Sanders crap miming in the locker room because he doesn't like the fact that he's still a third-string quarterback. Mac Jones will always get a job. If he doesn't stay in San Francisco, 10 other teams will reach out to his agent after this year and see if he's available or interested in playing for them or maybe even competing for the starting job. Nobody is going to call Shedeur Sanders because on one side, you've got a mature quarterback who understands his role and is a team-first guy. On the other side, you have an immature guy who's never thrown a pass in the NFL, who still believes it's all about me. And I thought it was great that Mac Jones did that the day after the Shedeur Sanders went viral and crazy, and everyone's got an opinion on it, because you don't have to look that far for a great example of what Shedeur should be doing. He shouldn't be miming in the locker room. And I know I'm sick and tired of talking about it, but I thought Mac Jones yesterday was the best example I could give you without using my own words to show him that's what you should be doing. Now, you're not playing, but it's how you answer questions. It's how you act. It's how you roll. It's how you present yourself to people. Mac Jones gets an A+. Shedeur Sanders gets an F.
Can they possibly bring that suit back on the screen real fast?
Yeah, of course we can.
Can we possibly do that? I don't mean to throw that at him because are we sure that's his real answer? Or was he worried about what Batman was going to do to him? Because clearly he's worried that to go. I mean, clearly he's going against Batman. So did he really mean it, or is he scared to death?
It's a bad suit. I started by telling you it's a bad suit.
So I agree with you about everything he said because what you said was factual.
Yeah.
But as far as presenting himself, come on, brother, you got to get a better suit.
Shedeur dresses better. He wins that. I'm great.
That's all.
I like the dollar sign squared. I like all that. Yeah. He dresses better, but he doesn't answer questions.
And as a guy in his young 20s, I actually think he probably will be at least in a camp with a chance to start next year.
Mac Jones.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
Somewhere with a chance to start, right?
Yeah,
I like Daniel Jones.
When you get the chance, prove yourself worthy of it.
Yeah.
He didn't play great the first 2 games, but they won. He was great last night.
He was.
No turnovers. None. And he threw the ball 49 times. That was great last night. A couple other NFL things. AFC North. I got to get into this because the Baltimore Ravens are now playing without Lamar Jackson at least this week. It looks like next week also. Then they have their bye week. So he's going to be back in, I guess, 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to miss a minimum right now of 2 games. That's problematic because the Baltimore Ravens, I know their schedule is not hard, but the Baltimore Ravens are underdog this week because Cooper Rush is starting against the Houston Texans, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Houston Texans have shown 0 offense this year. Their defense is very good. They did get a win last week, so they're off the schneid. But they're now going up against the worst defense in football, which is the Ravens, meaning the Ravens might actually have to score points in this game to beat the 1-win Houston Texans. You see the Ravens schedule right there. I think a case could be made right now that if the Ravens lose to the Texans, it's a wrap. And I know their schedule sets up for them, if Lamar Jackson gets back to being healthy, where they should be able to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
But we can't forget the fact that this is the worst defense statistically in the entire NFL. Now, the Texans have no offense. So this is one of those games where, what's it called, the immovable object meets the indestructible force, whatever it is, something, right? It's all boxing analogy thing, right? But the Ravens season might be over because you saw Cooper Rush last week in mop-up duty. It wasn't good against Kansas City. He's had much better experiences when he started, when Dak Prescott got hurt, when he was the Cowboys' backup quarterback. So I know he can be competent, but that defense stinks. The Texans are now favored, which is crazy if you've watched the Texans play any football this year. And the Ravens are looking at, just remind me again, who do they play after the Texans this week? I don't have it right in front of me. If you guys have I'm going to put on my glasses to look at it.
Then they play the Rams.
Right. So you have Texans, Rams, bye week, okay?
Yeah.
And then we'll worry about Chicago, 3 weeks from now. They're not beating the Rams with Cooper Rush. I know the Rams didn't do a good job last night. A lot of that's coaching and game planning against San Francisco. But San Fran also has a very good defense with a very good defensive coordinator. The Ravens don't have that. The Ravens are going to be underdogged in that game by a touchdown, if not more. Meaning we are looking at 1-4, 1-5, and then the bye week. How many teams do you know of that started off a football season 1-5, made it into the postseason? I'll answer the question for you. Goose eggs. It's never happened before. Now, I can make all the arguments in the world. Their schedule is soft. Lamar Jackson comes back. The hamstring is good to go, and they're going to run off 8 wins in a row. Could that happen? Yeah. I'm not going to tell you it can happen, but you can't expect it to happen because you know they're banged up. Hamilton's out again. Manabuku's out.
Yeah.
I think Van Noy is out. So their defense is already banged up and already the worst defense in all football. And that's going to bring me back to a point I think needs to be made. I'm a huge Lamar Jackson guy. Lamar Jackson is as good as any quarterback in and out of the pocket. I take him to run my team, and 30 other teams would also, all day and all night. But Lamar Jackson in a big spot has not been great. Lamar Jackson with a bad hammy is not going to be great. Their defense already stinks. I believe, and I've said this for a couple of years now, if I'm Baltimore, what's the guy's name? Steve Biscotti, right?
Yeah.
Owns the Ravens. Why am I bringing Harbaugh back again? It's the same thing every year. They're never good enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills in the postseason. They're not. Just go check out their record. They've not been great in those spots. They're always a 10, 11, 12-win team, which is great. They've wasted 2 MVP years, I think a third last year, because I thought he had a better year than Josh Allen did. Not worth arguing anymore. So at what point does the owner of the Ravens say, now wait a minute, I have gotten you and paid for every player you wanted. I don't blame the GM either. The GM has gotten a collection of talent that knows how to play football. At what point does anybody in Baltimore point the magnifying glass at John Harbaugh and say, yeah, we love you. Yeah, we appreciate the one title we got. We get it. You, of course, had the greatest defense since the 85 Bears when you won it. But you won it. You get credit for it. All good. But at what point does somebody say, you're not the guy? Like, when does that happen?
Now.
Right?
Now.
When does someone say, maybe we need a new voice in the room? Because we're wasting the greatness of Lamar Jackson. And this season's a wrap.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circa Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They know the minutia of game time decisions, when to call timeouts, when to the kick, go for 2, and all that other stuff better than the head coaches, because the head coaches aren't watching 30, 35 games like sports fans are between college football and the NFL. All the head coaches are doing are watching game films. They may be watching 30 game films, but they're not watching game management. So the fan does know.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Mike Trout, will he ask for a trade? And maybe I'm a bit of a Neanderthal for asking this, and people are going to say, listen, he's never leaving. I refuse to accept that we're just not going to get Mike Trout postseason baseball ever again. Because clearly when healthy, he can still do it. But he's also rarely healthy and still kind of expensive. It's complicated.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Course setup, Bethpage, and how soft the greens were, how long it played. It definitely was an advantage for Europe from my mind, and they putted better.
Well, but do you think, in a weird way, that same setup is what allows the Americans to get back in it today? Because you do see a lot of those big putts made.
Yeah.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
All right, great. Welcome back. I was just yelling at our producer, Ethan, because his mom didn't call me last night. And she knows she's supposed to call me on Thursday nights, but she didn't. It's a long story. All right, time for some news and notes here. When we talk about the New York Giants, the New York Jets, football-wise, and everyone in Buffalo's like, there's a real team in New York, and it's the Buffalo Bills, and, we really should be considered one of New York's teams because we're the only team that actually plays in the state of New York. That old been out there, and everyone's like, slow your roll. You're not really a New York team. We don't consider Buffalo part of New York, actually. But the Bills put out a tweet earlier today or last night that I know New York Yankee fans, rightfully so, have a problem with. And I think will end forever the notion that we as real New Yorkers should consider the Buffalo Bills as one of the New York teams, because we don't consider them as one of the New York teams. And I lived in Buffalo, loved Buffalo, started my career at WGRAM in Buffalo, got nothing but love for the fine people of Buffalo, and with one of the great sandwiches known to man, beef on weck. It's a hard-crusted, salty roll with roast beef on it. Can't get enough of it, with a little horseradish there. But look at this tweet that the Bills put out. The Bills are rooting for the Blue Jays over the New York Yankees. So you can't get pissed when New Yorkers are like, you ain't a New York team.
Well, I agree.
You got to be a New York team and be all New York and root for the Yankees over the Toronto Blue Jays. So shame on the Bills for that dumb tweet.
Now, do they get a pass because they played their pandemic games?
No, they don't get a pass. You can't bitch and moan. Well, we want to be known as New York's team.
No pass.
And then when a New York team is going up against a Canadian team, you pull for the Canadians.
All right, one other thing. The AAA affiliate. They're the Buffalo Bisons, I found out. Is that part of the reason why that's Toronto? They're linked.
Just because you learned how to research things doesn't mean you need to put it on the air.
I believe that that's good stuff for the people. Okay, so why they did
it.
Okay, that's the stuff for the people.
Second thing in news and notes, and I love this story actually because it's a non-story. Is anybody aware or does anybody care that Bill Belichick in North Carolina is playing Clemson tomorrow?
No.
Bill Belichick in North Carolina has very quickly, and rightfully so, become a non-story. They play Clemson tomorrow. I know Clemson's not having a good year either. Syracuse waxed them 2 weeks ago. But I would have thought if we had talked about this in August, we would have said, well, circle that Carolina-Clemson game. That's going to be must-see TV, right?
Yes.
And I'm glad the Belichick experiment has died an ugly death in Carolina.
I have some more research that the people need to know this time. I got this one. I'm going to give it another try. So because people thought this was going to be a huge game, the thought was going to be prime time, they paid a bunch of money. There's a Ludacris concert before this game. The game's at noon. Ludacris is going to be up there at 9 a.m. performing because the game means nothing.
They moved the game up because nobody wants to see it.
So now Ludacris is getting all this money to perform at 9 a.m. rather than like 6 p.m.
I was thinking what they should do is have Ludacris play after the game so people don't leave the game.
I agree, but instead they got to play it early in the morning.
And if I may, Ludacris still sells tickets?
Yeah.
When's the last hit Ludacris had?
Move.
Huh?
Move.
Justin Bieber duo?
No, move B-word. Get out of the way. I don't want,
That's 25 years old.
Well, it's what these kids grew up on.
Good for that. Good for him. Number 3, C.J. Stroud's off to another terrible year, or a terrible start, I should say. Their defense has carried them 1 month into the season, but he has a built-in excuse for it. I'll just caution you by telling you that C.J. Stroud is 23 years old. I have children older than C.J. Stroud.
That is true.
But he was asked about why he's off to a tough start. And I don't know if we have the audio. We're just going to show it to you.
We don't.
I'll just tell you what it is. He came out and said he's getting older and he can't do the things he used to be able to do when he was much younger.
23 years old.
Dude, I'm 42. I'm allowed to not be able to do things I used to be able to do.
How old you say you were?
What happened?
Didn't you had already said you had a kid older than him, but now you're 42?
Yeah, I started early, Tyrone. In junior high school, I was getting it done.
Putting that work in.
Oh, laying it down, absolutely.
Like Roberto Duran.
But you can't come out and go, man, I'm getting older. You're 23. And final news and note for you, and this one's going to be tough for you. I have our first ever Carton show upset alert.
Oh.
All right? There's a major, major upset alert, and this is not going to endear me to my family or to many of my friends. But the Denver Broncos are underdogged, as they should be.
Yeah.
Against your Philadelphia Eagles.
That's 4.5.
I think, is it 4.5?
4.5 is the number
I
right
started
at the
3.5. Doesn't change my opinion all that much. That is upset alert if I ever saw one. Denver is in Philly for the game. 4-0 Philly team. Offense has not looked great this year.
You are correct.
But they know how to win more than any other team. They didn't complete a single pass in the second half last week, but they won. Still scored 30 points. They're the best team in football until someone says that they're not. But the Denver Broncos are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. That is the first ever Craig Carton Show upset special. I've never given it to you this year until now. And I'm looking at saying to myself, boy, Denver has struggled against average teams this year. I know they came on strong last week, but that was against backups.
Yeah, bad team.
I don't look at that win as anything all that special.
Mm-hmm.
They did what they should have did against a bad Bengals team with a bad quarterback in Jake Browning, right? And I know that it's a major step up in class playing against Philly. The Eagles haven't been right yet. I know they're going to try to force the ball to A.J. Brown to keep him quiet so he's not a problem and frustrated after the game. But the Broncos defense is really good. Probably the best defense the Eagles will have seen this part of the season thus far. And I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on the Denver Broncos going into Philly and pulling off the upset. And what I want to see about that afterwards is, assuming the Eagles offense is still kind of stuck in mud, like it's been thus far in the NFL. You know, Jalen Hurts doesn't have a 300-yard game. Saquon doesn't have a 100-yard game. A.J. Brown has, like 70 yards this year? Had the one half, the really good half, against the Rams a couple weeks ago. I want to see how people in Philly start reacting. If Denver goes into Philly, beats them, the Eagle offense is what it's been, kind of stale thus far this year, and then we're going to see how strong and unified that team is.
Boo! That's what you're going to get. Boo! Boo! I mean, that's what it's going to be.
I know, but you're going to start. I know how it goes to Philly. You know, I work there.
Yeah.
You're going to start seeing little chinks in the armor
Absolutely.
in Philly if Denver does what I think they're capable of doing. Anyhow, those are your news and notes. We'll wrap it up with a couple thoughts on some other games. And Tyrone, after a 3-0 weekend, comes back with 3 more right after this.
Ashton Genty, between yards and yards before contact and yards after contact, all these sorts of... They're giving him nothing. He is getting hit constantly behind the line of scrimmage, multiple yards behind the line of scrimmage. And frankly, at this point, I think he's essentially out of the race. And this is partly due to Emeka Egbuka having a great year, Tyler Warren putting up big numbers. Ted McMillan, I think, is maybe the most talented player overall in the rookie class.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The leader right now in the clubhouse in the odds market is Fernando Mendoza. College football purists, yep, absolutely know that guy. Fantastic. He's a great quarterback. Non-purists who are tuning in just for the biggest games, who is this guy, Joe, and how did he get here?
Well, he came from Cal. He's a mobile kid. He's big. He's about 6'3", about 220. He's a gutty kid and had a great performance for Kirk Cignetti.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
We're in a weird place with Trevor Lawrence. This was another one of these quote-unquote can't-miss generational quarterback prospects, right? Everybody was salivating over when he was a freshman winning national championships. And here we are, about 5 years later, looking at ourselves going, is it just time for Trevor Lawrence to get a change of venue or something? Like, what's got to give here? Hopefully this Liam Cohen offense starts to come together.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
The Americans got to find answers in these partnerships, and I think they need to look at their who's making these decisions from a stat standpoint.
Well, it's so funny to me, especially coming off of the Walker Cup just a few weeks before, how it just seems like there's this glaring chasm between American partnered match play and American individual, singles match play.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
before we get out of here and Tyron gives you his picks, two little low-hanging fruit NFL stories. John Gruden's about to become a very, very, very wealthy man. A Nevada Supreme Court unanimously rejected the NFL's attempt to block John Gruden's lawsuit. That means that he now gets to move forward with his suit against them, meaning Discovery gets access to league emails, league records, league communications involving all the way up to Roger Goodell and that situation in Washington a few years back. The NFL did everything in its power to stop this and to try to beat him in court. There is no way the NFL is going to allow Discovery to happen because they will be exposed big time. So how do you avoid it? You write a big freaking check. And I'm talking like $50 million.
That's what I was going to ask.
Like the Kaepernick type check.
Yeah.
And good for John Gruden. He fought this all the way to the top. They went to the Nevada State Supreme Court, and he won. And by the way, it was unanimous. Now, I don't know the makings of that Supreme Court politically, but I know the NFL has already spent millions of dollars fighting him in this, trying to make this go away. John Gruden now has a choice to make. I think it's an easy choice because I'm sure he's got a number. I know he's already made millions of dollars, so maybe money is not, the key factor in this or what's driving him. Reputation is certainly a part of it. But what's the number? Because there's no way the NFL is going to open up and expose its dirty laundry to the public, which is what they would have to do if Gruden takes this to court. And it's in Gruden's control now. No matter what they offer him, if Gruden says, no, this is about principle, we're going to court, then the NFL gets exposed and they can't allow that to happen. I think the number starts at 50 and goes up.
Wow.
And I think if John Gruden said to them, $100 million
right now,
they write the check.
Right. That's how big,
100%.
How big you think this
they
is.
They cannot get exposed because those emails are going to show a very different picture of what the story is compared to what the NFL wants you to think it is. So again, I got a number. You've got a number.
Of course.
That means he's got a number. I would not be surprised. First off, it'll be kept confidential, so we'll never know what the number is. But I think you're talking about like Tom Brady flag football Saudi Arabia money. That's the kind of money I think we're talking about.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Maybe north of that number. That's one. Number two, before Tyrone's picks, we got a couple minutes, yes?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I know the Ravens are still, according to the odds makers, favorites to win the division.
They still are.
That's disrespectful to the Pittsburgh Steelers. For my money right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers should be the favorites to win that division. They have a bye week this week. Aaron Rodgers is playing good football. Not great, but good football. Their defense is really good. And, of course, they have Mike Tomlin. If you're sleeping on the Steelers now, do it at your own peril. They are right now the best team in that division. And with the Bengals having no quarterback and the Browns having no offense at all or quarterback, we'll see what Dylan Gabriel does this weekend. And the Baltimore Ravens now dealing with the worst defense in football and no Lamar Jackson for at least 2 weeks. How do you not have the Steelers as the team to beat in that division? The Steelers are the best team. All right, got that out of the way?
We did.
Good. Clip it, put it out there, make it go viral. Tyrone is now 8-1 this year with his picks. He's got 3 more. The floor is yours.
Yes, I have my 3 picks. Now, real fast on the side, watch Florida, Texas. That line's funny. I'm saying that if you're interested in that game, just take a peek at it. That line should be bigger than 4. So that's just a little
Texas favored by 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that.
So you like Florida? What he's saying is I want to make a 4th pick.
I'm not making a 4th pick. No, I don't love that
just
one.
Just make the pick.
You know what? Fine. Florida minus, I think, plus the 4.5.
You should never be bullied into making a pick.
I'm not betting it. I'm not betting it. I'm not betting it.
Got it.
Here are the games I actually like.
Do it.
Starting in college, I like Notre Dame minus the 20.5 versus Boise State.
You love laying big numbers. You are the public.
Yeah.
You only bet favorites.
No, I don't.
You only lay 3 touchdowns.
I don't only bet favorites. You got to listen to all 3 picks.
You took Ohio State last week against Washington.
And they covered just want to play out. Part of this Notre Dame schedule is a joke. They're going to smoke this team, and they need style points to get back in the rankings. They want to make the playoffs.
I have to agree with you, but have I not taught you anything?
You have. But listen, game number 2, another huge spread. I like the Lions minus 10.5 on the road against the Bengals. I think that team's a machine. I think they're going to smoke them. And then
they should cover that by halftime. So
and they'll
I
take
can't
care of
argue
business.
with you on that.
And this one, I believe the Patriots are a good football team. The advanced metrics say that they are.
Okay.
I like them plus the 8.5 on Sunday night against the Bills. I don't know if they'll win the game.
At Buffalo, right?
At Buffalo, I think they cover the 8.5. They lose by a touchdown or less. I think they're a good football team, and that'll be bared out over 17 games.
Well, the best bet for you would be, since the Bills are rooting for the Blue Jays to beat the Yankees, that game is Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So maybe the Bills will be distracted, sitting in the locker room just watching the Blue Jays, get demolished by the Yankees, and they'll come out all depressed because they're rooting for the wrong team. Yeah. Anyhow, if you're going to wager, please be smart about it. Do your research. Pick the games you truly love.
Absolutely.
If you bet more than 1 or 2 games a day, you're not going to win. Period. Stop. Don't bet parlays. They're sucker bets, and we do hope that you win whatever bets you make. We'll be back Monday at 11 o'clock. Check us out on SportsGrid on Spotify and everywhere in the world.